All right, welcome, kings and queens. We are talking to Diddy Saga. The devil indeed wears Prada. Y'all, this man is the devil, Satan himself. Now, the review that I'm going to share with you, I actually did this review and I was going to release it, but less than 24 hours later, Cassie and Diddy were able to reach a settlement. So keep in mind some of my thoughts that I was sharing was in the moment in real time when we all received the news that the $30 million lawsuit had been filed. I still meant what I said and what I'm about to share. But in addition to that, as more and more details begin to resurface regarding Diddy's behavior, dark, this is nothing new to us. We knew this, but we turned a blind eye. And the question is why? That's the first thing. The second thing, I'm going to say this. Young Miami is not innocent in this. If you go back and retrace some of her rhetoric and some of her vicious comments towards the victims of Diddy, she's well aware about these. She's well aware and privy to these freak offs and has been a recipient, it sounds like, allegedly, of some of the benefits of the sexual acts. I said it. There is tweets to back it up. I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to come back with a different commentary on Young Miami and my thoughts about her involvement. Not with Cassie, but her being involved with Diddy. So let's go.
He was in that man's house and he saw that man's wife and was like this. I was watching Puff.
First of all, let's start with he was in that man's house. Puff Daddy was in another rich mogul's home because we can only assume that he associates with people in and of his same tax bracket. He was in that man's house and he was watching his
Puff was looking up there. He saw this white woman. It was bottles on bottles on bottles around. It was lit. Puff jumped out. Me and Cassie sitting next to each other. My wife right here, Cassie right here. The nigga jumped off the bar, came on and said, yo, Cassie, tomorrow, I want you to shave the side of your head. And I was like, what the fuck kind of request is that?
And he was watching his woman, that white woman, powerful, envy, covetousness. He envied and desired something that did not belong to him. The need to possess another man's trophy. And as a result, he came back in the moment and he told Cassie, I want you to shave your head. Just like hers. Let that sink in. Let's move on. In this moment, I applauded young Jock because of all the bottles upon bottles and bottles that were mentioned being in direct vicinity and in the home, we can assume, I'm going to assume, with most Hollywood parties, there were drugs too, allegedly. But in that moment, no matter what state of mind he was in, young Jock had enough sense to realize and pause in the moment and realize this shit ain't normal. What the fuck kind of request is that? Meaning, that's not how you treat a woman. That has to be degrading, disrespectful, low, a violation, a code amongst men that made young Jock step back because he was taken aback. As if nigga. But what can another man do regarding the treatment that men inflict upon their women, okay? So I want to applaud him for even pausing in that moment and acknowledging that this is not normal.
This white woman side of her head was shaved, my nigga. And the bitch looked good with it. So I was looking at Cassie. I was like, well, I was like, you're not about to do that, are you? She said, well, I mean, whatever Sean wants, I'm going to do. I was like, well, you make sure you send me a picture before you do that shit. So within like 2-3 days, she sent me a picture. I'm like, she done shaved her motherfucking head. I'm like, that shit look good. When that shit hit the internet, boom.
She started a whole trend, man.
A whole trend, and I watched it happen.
She started a whole
so I got so many moments and stories in time like this, bro. I could go on for days. Yep.
This is a hot and heavy one. P. Diddy, come from underneath that rock. Come out, Satan, from underneath that rock. Because, boy, you are front and center. Y'all, Cassie, P. Diddy's ex girlfriend, has filed a lawsuit against him. This is a trigger warning. This is about severe. This is about the unthinkable, beyond what we could ever imagine that could go on behind closed doors. And she has found the courage to speak, and she's standing on it by way of a $30 million lawsuit. $30 million lawsuit. I do not believe, nor am I of the belief this is his first time. This is the first victim. I don't believe it. But a lot of times we cover these black motherfuckers and they can do no wrong because they have a low change in their pocket, and we protect them even at the expense of a woman's safety, a woman's mental health, physical health, spiritual, and emotional. This is a deep conversation, and I want to ask you, because I know what I think about it, but I want to ask you, is it specific to men with money, or what we're seeing is something that has always lied beneath? And why are we just now talking about it? Why does it take a $30 million lawsuit for us to talk about it? Why do we wait to talk about shit when it's sensationalized? Why do we wait to go up against a giant like a P. Diddy when somebody else pulls the trigger? What the fuck are we scared of? Y'all know this ain't new. Everybody has rallied behind her now. How come y'all didn't say something then? How come y'all didn't pull the cord on his motherfucking ass then? And I have a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion because some of you were needing and or wanting something from him. Some of you artists, some of you rappers, some of you singers, some of you band members, choreographers, assistants, niggas that sat back and watched it. I have a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion that some of you held back just in case he signed that deal. Just in case he slid you a little something. Just in case you and your spouse were asked over for a party. Just in case. Let me not say anything. Let me secure myself first. Let me put my mask on first and see what I can get out of it. And now I'll come to the forefront to provide the support to Cassie, the public validation and confirmation. How come y'all didn't say something then? We lost Kim Porter. She gone. And when you think about what she's endured, if somebody, anybody, everybody would have screamed then, maybe she would still be here, allegedly. But yes, Cassie, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you that you did not allow the appearance of power, money, and fame to intimidate you for doing what the fuck you needed to do on the behalf of yourself as a woman, on the behalf of your children, your family, and your home. And that's what happens when you got a good man behind you. And I am of the belief that Cassie has a phenomenal man behind her, her husband. See, when a man puts the right energy behind his woman, you empower her to do the unthinkable, the unbelievable, because she knows at the end of the day, no matter what happens, you got me. You got my back. You believe in me. And as long as I got you by my side, I believe I can fly. I believe I can take this giant down. And if you're standing here beside me, baby, I'm going to go for it. I am going to tell my story come hell or high water. I am not going to allow him to get away with it. And that's what I applaud Cassie for. My heart goes out to the other women that were not big enough or deemed valuable enough to be heard. And you had to walk away and tuck your tail in shame. probably hundreds of women. My heart goes out to his ex, Gina, whom everybody made fun of. The one that he stumped her stomach when he learned that she was pregnant. I believed her. But who is she? To you all, a nobody. And guess what? When you are deemed a nobody, don't nobody give a fuck. So we don't want to hear it. So Cassie filed a lawsuit. And the lawsuit is claiming that a few years into her relationship with P. Diddy, the suit says he began coercing her to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism. He wanted to see her degraded, devalued, mistreated by other men. And not just any men. Let's just say, even if she went along with it, right? Which she didn't, because she's filing a lawsuit. She felt intimidated, forced, manipulated, scared. But let's flip it for those of you that are not believers, that probably have made up your mind. Whatever. Let's just say she did agree. This motherfucker didn't even give her the benefit of the doubt of using a clean man. Alex Fine, you are a fine man. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. May God bless you, King, as you continue to protect your queen. As you come against the powers that be in this dark world of entertainment, may God give you the protection, the strength of David when he took down Goliath. May he give you everything you need from the inside out. May the angels go before you and create a pathway for you to slay this demonic spirit.
And a lot of people are talking about Cassie and they mad, talking about she was just trying to get the paper. Well, first of all, it was a civil suit, so it was all about civil, which is just money anyway. But the bigger thing that nobody is even thinking about is when you looked at that caption, even though I have never seen a trigger warning on a complaint, but when you look at that caption, it was the defendants, Sean Puffy Combs Enterprise, Combs LLC, and Epic. And let me tell you something. When they found that thing, y'all sitting up there focused on Puffy. Epic was like, wait a minute, this goddamn girl was what? She was being a woo to what? What happened? And she was signed out, so actually we were her boss. Yeah, he settled because they was like mother. Focus on a caption.